again, it's just 3 questions. How do you feel about the whole situation of human trafficking? What would you say to a trafficker if you could talk to them directly? And what would you say to a child? There's a family. There's so many people that have done videos already. And if you haven't seen them, there's some that are in Telegram. There's a few people that just put some videos in, and I loved them. I loved them so much. I haven't gotten a chance to respond just yet. There's things that we see, and the second that we see them, we have to turn around and deal with something else. So I don't get to respond to a lot of stuff. Mindy, we love you. Mindy and husband, we thank you guys so much. I think that one had to be my favorite. Y'all had us cracking up. All of them mean so much. I know I bring up Mindy because they just put theirs in, and it was great. And it's a great example that everybody is different. Everybody is different. So it shows when, all walks of life resonate with somebody, even on a bad level. So thank you so much to everybody who stand up and be counted. We'll talk to you guys soon. But again, these videos are going to make sense in a second. So I hope you listen closely. There's a lot. You might have to go back and rewatch. All of our videos are like that.
Well, when you're on the topic, like Fritz Springmeier wrote amazing books on MK Ultra and satanic ritual abuse and all of that. I carry those books with me like my Bible. My Bible and his books are the first things that I grab and keep with me, because 10 years ago when I was going through those books, things were resonating with me and other things weren't. And I can go back now and there's new things that resonate, because this MK Ultra is so deep and so complex and so involved. There's just truth after truth after truth, and you can't take it all in, or it's not relevant at the moment, but it's relevant a little bit later. If you are a survivor, it is highly likely that you have alters. That's just how it works. That's the whole point of it. It's like saying water's wet. Water is wet. If you are a survivor and you have MK Ultra programming, you have alters. It's just what it is. It's just the nature of it.
You don't walk away from the situations that happen in trafficking. And again, it's not just sex.
Allie has hundreds of alters. Allie likely has thousands of alters, but by my count, she has hundreds. Of those alters, of those hundreds alters, there's only a handful that are over the age of 18. So that means most survivors have hundreds and hundreds of children alters, like Britney Spears, like Miley Cyrus.
Turn off. Like, what's her name? Megan... what's her name? She did she dresses up like a baby. There's so much that you're watching, but you don't know what you see. So it's not just the innuendos. There's people that are telling you very big secrets, and there's also people telling you their own things they're guilty of.
Miley has a lot of things where she's dressed as an infant child. Let me break it down a little bit further. I think there's an album with Miley Cyrus dressed as a baby, in a diaper and a hat and all that stuff. Okay, so they pull those altars up.
Pull up.
They pull those altars up, and they sell them. They traffic those baby child altars. That's against their will. It's against their mind. They have no say. Are you understanding that?
But it's not just the baby altars. So they need someone, like I was just telling you about Britney. They need somebody who's going to hold their shit together for interviews and come off really professional.
So they're able to pull up whatever altar they need for whatever situation that they find themselves in. If Miley has to do an interview, they pull up the altar that is able to do interviews. If Miley is being trafficked as an infant to somebody, they'll pull up that infant child and traffic that infant child. child alters stay at their age and they stay in that mindset. When you learn what you're seeing, you'll see the children. You'll see the innocence. You'll see the fear in their eyes. I'm sure some of you have seen that with Allie. You get a different response sometimes. There's some alters that are very aggressive and speak their mind very forcefully, and then there's some that come off very innocent and very timid and very shy, and you react differently. Pay attention to how you react, because that's telling you which altar is up.
Not Trainer. What was...
Megan Trainer?
No, her name was Megan something. What is her name? She has a whole album out. She wears a binky in her mouth. She's kind of like a Billie Eilish. What's her name? What is one of the songs she sings? And I can't even think of that. Fox? No, not Fox. White girl. She did a whole... What is that? What was her famous song? Not Stallion. Melanie Martinez. I said her name was Megan. See? Thank you, Tinkerbell. Melanie. That's her name. Melanie. That's a big one. She's a big one. That's not just innuendos about child trafficking. That's something else. Pay attention to that. Megan Trainer, she did the same thing too. Yeah. There's a lot of it's not just... See, sex trafficking is not just sex. Trafficking is not just sex. If it was just a sexual problem, again, it'd be easy.
Solution.
It's not just a bad sex drive gone wrong. That's not.
The trafficking is like maybe 20% of the problem. Mm-hmm. The MK Ultra, the mind control programming, that's huge. People.
For those of you who don't know what MK Ultra is, I just did a series of videos going over the government declassified documents where the government themselves explains what MK Ultra is. And it's exactly what Allie and her mom are describing right now. So if any of you who are asking themselves, who are watching this, like, what the hell is MK Ultra? What's that? Well, go watch my videos that they're titled, What is MK Ultra? Go watch those. It explains it all.
Buy and sell codes to control other people's altars.
And when you're seeing their songs, you're seeing the songs that put their codes back in place. So if you listen to Halsey has a song that's the kids cry out, please stop, you're scaring me. I can't help this awful energy. But you're goddamn right, you should be scared of me. Who's in control? Control by Halsey. I play along with the villains that live in my head. They tell me to write them so I won't die when I'm dead. If you are a survivor, that makes so much more sense to you. All of Halsey's music is coded for survivors. Castle. That's why I play that. Do you get it? I'm headed straight to the castle. They want to make me their queen. And there's an old man sitting on the throne that's saying that I probably shouldn't be so mean. The music I play in my story is not just music either. And there's some people who are like, I thought this person was bad though. I'm not playing for that. Look at the words. Pay attention. Gasoline. Yep. That's a big one. Are you deranged like me? Been in pain like me? Brought $100 bottle of champagne like me? Just to throw that motherfucker down the drain like me? Sia is a big one. I had I was on my way to go to I was in a place. Wow, I can't remember the words. I was on my way to a place where demons go, where the wind don't change and nothing in the ground could ever grow. No hope, just lies, and you're taught to cry in your pillow. But I survived. I'm still breathing. I'm alive. There's a lot. Cellophane. She says a lot. The music is not just NF, oh my god, we gonna have to get into NF a whole other day. But NF, the rapper, All 3 albums are made by a different alter. Nate, Nathaniel, there's 3 names that you know of. Nate, there's 3. Why can't I think of it right now? But NF is, his albums are based on DID. Mansion is based on DID. The Mansion is their inside structure. Nate, his newest song, The Search, is about somebody else taking the keys.
When we talk about MK Ultra and we talk about alters, there's a progression that you guys will go through when you're trying to wrap your head around this stuff, because it's so big. And I can always tell where somebody stands by the questions that they're asking. Because I went through that same progression when Allie came. Alters aren't just bouncing around in your head. There's internal structures that have been put in place. There's blueprints that are in place. There's rooms and levels and all kind of things where the alters reside on the inside.
He talks about his mansion, then he talks about a specific cage, then he talks about his therapy. Y'all gotta listen to NF's music more. NF is having an argument with himself. In all of his music, he's arguing with himself. Hey Nate, how's life? I don't know. It's alright. I've been dealing with some things that every human being that can't even really sleep last night. I'm sorry. That's fine. You want to hear the conversation? Listen to The Search.
It's alters talking.
It's alters talking. That's literally them having a conversation, arguing with each other.
You are surrounded by MK Ultra programming.
NF, yeah.
In your movies, in your TV, on the streets, you are surrounded by it. You just don't know it.
Hey, don't look up on Netflix. Who did that? You think that's a joke? You think they were just spoofing something? Why would you spoof something that doesn't even exist? Everything in your movies, Stranger Things, is very real. That Don't Look Up movie, very real. Dollhouse, very real. All of your video game movies like Pixel and Player One with Adam Sandler and stuff, those are movies based on programming. They talk to you about how it works to program someone using a video game as the artistry. Bath salts in 2011 was a cover-up for adrenochrome. Nobody understands that. People were running around like zombies and you couldn't kill them unless you shot them in the head. And even then, it was hard to take them down.
There's so many things that we're seeing, that we've been seeing, that don't set right with us, but in a million years, you can't wrap your head around it because normal people don't think like that. But evil people do.
Music is people's diaries and they're telling you secrets. And sometimes they're telling you what's really going on, and they're telling you the things that it's really crazy. Beyonce, y'all haters corny with that Illuminati mess.
There's a little darling the other day, claims to be a survivor, tried to take me out of the game by saying that I'm Allie's handler. My problem I have with...
You're fucking fired.
There we go. See? Just like I knew it. Just like I talked about in the MK Ultra video, I've had trolls come into my comments just this last week saying the exact same words. Saying, girl, that's not your mama, that's your handler. Saying the exact same words that Allie and Shelley are right here on this video talking about 2.5 years ago. Almost 2.5 years ago. So yeah, there you go. That's what I mean. That's an MK Ultra word. That's something that they've either had bots or trolls go out and push in comments and on Twitter and all these places push. She's a handler. She's a handler. She's a handler. Now, when people watch the video, they've got that rooted in their mind. They watch the video of her and Allie talking. They're like, well, why is she there? Why does she have to be there? Well, I'll tell you why she's there. Because whether you guys realize it or not, survivors, when they find someone that they trust, I mean, you can call it codependent if you want, but when you've lived a life like Allie here has lived, you know, it's a little different than simple codependency, okay? All right? Because us humans are based off of our interactions that we've had through our lifetime, right? And Allie's whole life, I mean, we read the CPS report. We see what kind of life she had. We see the role model she had. We see that the people who were supposed to be there for her and protect her did nothing but put her at risk. We saw all that. We saw that. In that, I mean, if you go back and look at my videos, I read through all her CPS reports and the records that they had on that documentary. And I read through the one that was blurry. And that went over her whole placement history. Like, pretty much everywhere she went, she was being groped, fondled, everywhere she went. So, when she finds someone she trusts, someone that actually does want to be there for her like all those other people were supposed to be, you know, it's probably not easy for her to talk without her mom there. I mean, like, we got to start, like, realizing, like, we got to stop basing her experience on our own experiences, okay? Because she ain't lived that type of life, you know? She didn't have what she needed growing up, but she has that with Shelley. That woman is not a handler. Allie's real handlers are out there saying that because they're trying to plant a seed of distrust in Allie. They don't want Allie to trust Shelley. They're trying to plant that seed of distrust by pushing that word over and over again. If that thought really was organic, then why ain't nobody coming up with any other word? You know what I mean? But anyway, so yeah, here they are, 2.5 years ago, saying the exact same thing that I tried explaining in my last video. There's a reason people are calling Shelley a handler. They're trying to plant that mistrust. That's what they're doing. They were doing it 2.5 years ago, and they're doing it this week. They came to my channel. Started throwing those words out there. But what they didn't realize is I have my own experiences. And I'm not falling for their bullshit. I can see their bullshit a mile away. Anyways, continue speaking, Allie. I'm sorry I interrupted.
My problem I have with that is, number one, if you're a survivor, you should understand how MK Ultra works, and that should be a non-existent issue. Number two, if you are helping survivors and rescuing survivors, you again should understand about MK Ultra, how it works, and what it takes to keep an MK Ultra survivor safe. So the fact that you're coming at me sideways gives me really serious questions about who you are.
Yeah, me too.
Your trafficking agencies that are supposedly rescuing survivors but won't speak a word on MK Ultra raise a red flag for me. You see how that works?
Sappy said you're a really bad handler. She really is fucking horrible. And for those of you who are new, like, is she really? No.
The question you've always got to
sarcasm.
You've always got to defer to the question: why aren't we talking about MK Ultra? Why are people acting like they don't know about it? Why are people ignoring it? Why are they covering up for it? That's the big secret. That's the elephant in the room. Trafficking is not the elephant in the room. It's the MK Ultra.
Yep.
that will always be the hill that I'm willing to die on, because when you understand what they've done to the children with MK Ultra, there's nothing that's more evil than that. That's like the end of the line. Like,
and what did I just say yesterday, guys? What did I just say yesterday? What did I just say? I said, as an upcoming scientist myself, if the government approached me and asked me my opinion on how to brainwash people, on how to mind control, well, first of all, no, I would never do it. I'm talking about in a theoretical world where I was an evil person. Because, to be honest, I don't see any purpose whatsoever in our government knowing how to control a mind. Even if our enemies know how to do it, I see no purpose whatsoever that would help humanity. So, yeah, first of all, I would never do it. But if we're in a hypothetical world where I'm an evil person, right? And the government approached me, asked me, hey, Albatross, like, we need to learn how to control these people's minds. So what do you recommend? What do you recommend? Where do we even start? Well, as a scientist, I'm telling you what I would tell them if I was an evil person. I would tell them, well, you got to start on kids. You got to start on very young kids. Because by the time you're grown up, you don't know every experience that person's went through or how to properly, you know what I mean? Like, so that would just be hard. That would make your work twice as hard. Take twice as long. And then I showed you guys receipts. I showed you guys receipts on when our federal government decided to take it upon themselves to start funding things like CPS and the public school system. I showed you guys when all that started happening, when our government started funding all of that. You know what it was? In the late 50s, early 60s, at the peak of the MK Ultra. And they hadn't even touched things like that in 100 years before that. Hundreds of years before that, in the 1700s. So don't tell me that's just some weird coincidence. I don't find that coincidental. Because I'm telling you, as an up-and-coming scientist myself, if I was evil, where I would have told them to start. And here's Allie and Shelley saying the same thing that kind of the same thing. They're talking about the kids and how they target the kids. Anyways, to be honest, your biggest proof that MK Ultra is real is that 4 years ago, there was 80,000 missing kids in our country. Now, there's like 320 plus thousand missing. So it's like triple-fold. And the good people, or the people who we perceive as good people, aren't talking about it. You realize that Fox News hasn't talked about this issue since before the election? Like a month before the election. They haven't talked about that. CNN, I can't find where they've talked about it at all. And I looked through the past year in their archives, I can't find where they really talk about it at all. And usually when Fox does talk about it, it's always in relation to, the evil Democrats. It's never truly about the children. Ever. Ever. So, again, with this issue going on, why aren't the, quote, good people, unquote, talking about it? Tell me MK Ultra's not real. Y'all stay out of my comments, you trolls. Not the good people, all the people that I love to talk to in the comments and stuff. You guys are great. You're the ones who keep me coming back. You really are. But the trolls, yeah, go find somewhere else, because I'm onto your games. I know those trigger words you're using. Stop it. Stop it. I can see it, and I'm going to call it out. Have a good day, everybody. Thanks for listening.